I'm here with Sergey Malov, maestro. Welcome to the National Forum of Music. What impression does the city, Wrocław, the venue, and most of all, the NFM Leopoldinum Orchestra make on you?
Only positive, but I quickly run out of superlatives. But maybe it's a nice time to mention that I've been here once to the city and actually even playing with the Leopoldinum Orchestra. Maybe even before some of the people here were born. In end of 90s. There was a different venue in a beautiful library, but this house was maybe just in the beginning to be planned, and to see this and to see completely not only professional but young and truly musical people in the orchestra is just overwhelming. And I've heard great stories about the city, but just quickly jumping into its history and being in it by such a great weather, it's amazing. Looking forward very much.
Thank you. The program of your performance is made up of pieces by Franz Schubert and Leonid Desatnikov. The composition of the latter, Wie der alte Leiermann, refers to the ending song of the famous Winterreise cycle by Schubert. Yeah. Why did you add this piece to your repertoire?
Well, I think it gives a beautiful modern view on Schubert's music. By someone, contemporary to us, by someone really talented and someone understanding Schubert's gesture so beautifully in such a refreshing way. So it's going to be in the beginning of the program, but it gives a wonderful modern other view on Schubert's music, refreshing for the ears that otherwise might be like too used to something. And of course we love what we know. Therefore, that's the sad reason why the concerts with the Four Seasons of Vivaldi are always sold out, regardless the way how they are played.
We had one recently.
I'm sure it was just great, and it's fair enough. Why not? But just wanted to emphasize all this. We love and we trust what we know, but this is something based on what we know and we love, but put in a very, very special and wonderful frame of modernism.
Yeah, the piece starts with the melody from the song, and then magic happens.
If there is at all a melody, I mean, Jan Bostridge has written a whole book on this cycle, and basically claims that it's a joke. There is no harmony and a very poor melody. And Leonid Desatnikov, who these weeks just turned 70, and whom I'd like to congratulate to that also by playing his piece, sees in Schubert, he sees him as a first minimalistic composer, and just takes this beautiful example of Leiermann as a starting point for himself, doing a pretty much a minimalistic piece out of it, but it's totally unique and fits very well in otherwise pure Schubert program as a nice dose of pfeffer.
I agree. Maestro, you are a virtuoso of many instruments and an owner of many instruments. Which of them have you brought here? Which of them will you play? And could you share some of the story of?
Sure. So I brought only two. I might use a baton after the pause. If needed, probably not. I might also play whilst conducting just a little bit to interact, to make it even more smooth, the transitions between what I'm actually doing. But obviously your question is about violoncello da spalla. The instrument it discovered me, or I discovered it for myself about a dozen years ago as a perfect instrument for Bach cello suites and generally Baroque music. But how long can you dwell on that? Well, long enough, but not me and not staying there, obviously. It took maybe a decade to try the challenge of arpeggione on this instrument, and it fits really, really well. And then a few years after, Georg Oyen from Heilbronn Chamber Orchestra made a beautiful, in my opinion, transcription for his orchestra for strings and violoncello da spalla, which I'm totally happy to present. So again, an all-time classics, sounds new and gets totally many different new facets.
Do you think that the cello da spalla brings some new qualities to the Arpeggione Sonata?
I hope so. It must. Let's talk through quickly for those who never heard the name, which since 10 years I still meet and encounter every day. This is wonderful to go anywhere and see people seeing the instrument for the first time, all the time, continuously. That's wonderful. But it's an instrument that looks a little bit like a viola, but it's much thicker. And it's played on a shoulder, but it's not a viola. It sounds and is tuned like a cello, but has a fifth string on top of the usual four, which makes it a perfect tenor instrument. So it's very similar to the ambitus of the real arpeggione, which is tuned like a guitar, looks like a guitar, but is played with a bow and held like a cello. So I play it's not a transcription, I play just the original version. And I think it works really well because both arpeggione and violoncello da spalla are kind of similarly like strange, outsider, forgotten instruments, with the difference that spalla has a huge potential in all directions for the repertoire and for combinations and for soloing and accompanying and everything.
And my last question is about Schubert. His story is particularly tragic. He died at the age of 31, still managing to create masterpieces like Der Tod und das Mädchen quartet. And how does Schubert's story and the piece's story inspire you?
Exactly as you said, in such a short life, and making his most miserable part of his life, his most creative, most fruitful, it's just insane, not possible to imagine. Der Tod und das Mädchen, these words are really like clickbait or COE, how you would call them today. But it's just, it's a very popular romantic theme, youth and the death. And like, what is this famous movie, the Devil's Lawyer, with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. The movie is telling that the devil has so many faces, and in the song, death is trying to be very tender and kind of inviting, but as well as many times there is just this nice nickname to to make it, I don't know, better sellable or something. So he uses that theme in the second movement, but I don't know, probably Maidens and definitely the death were the two things Schubert was very strongly occupied with, particularly in his last years. But joking, well, I don't know, not so much joking about it. It's insane how with the simple, well, seemingly simple forms, you can dig so deep. And well, this being a quartet, we play an orchestral version, which obviously, well, makes it, when needed, more symphonic, and when needed, still very, very tender. I might also in the most kind of intimate variation in the second movement, grab the violin and play a little bit myself, because I just cannot cease doing it, but I totally trust the orchestra. We just had one very short rehearsing day. We'll explore much more tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward that we'll have enough time to do much more than just playing together and in tune. I'm sure that's where it should start. And I truly hope that we can present an interpretation in a really good sense of it. Something Aussage, it's called Aussage. We say something that is important for us and hope that it can come over. Yeah, exactly. A statement. Voila. Aussage is a statement. We'll see.
Yeah.
We have a few more days of intense work. I'm so much looking forward. It's such a fantastic opportunity, a chance to have this possibility to rehearse, to have the proper hall, and obviously have an audience that is responding to that. That altogether makes a sense that the ones need the others.
Yeah, that's very important today.
I hope so. But it's us who we have to deliver something much more than just professional. I don't know, to avoid banalities like we are doctors, not for the body, but for the soul, blah, blah. But there's something true about it. And if every single musician and all together we would be aware of that mission.
It works.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And again, classical music was never for the wide audience. So having a small hall is maybe even more valuable. The numbers, yes, it's great to have as many as possible. And in our global world, it's maybe even more possible. But this term of musica riservata, a little bit a kind of fun. Just for the few who are able to experience this really fine tuning, fine feelings. I hope so, but I really hope it's gonna happen in the concert.
I'm looking forward to it, and that's all.
So am I.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.